Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well as we get into the latest. Now, talking about the latest, there was a game earlier on and it looked unbelievable in the way that it went down. Because Newcastle were on the brink of getting a result against Arsenal and then it all went left. And Arsenal, in the last basically minute of the game, of course, ball in the air. Header, bottom corner. And by who? Of course, a substitute that Arteta brings off the bench. That has been the story of Arsenal's season so far. What Arteta's managed to do off the bench has impacted the result. I wish I could say the same for Maresca whenever we go down to 10 men. And this is talking about Arteta, who I've always said needs to give a little bit more optimism with the attack that Arsenal have available to them. And it looks like maybe he's learning his lesson, because as soon as he finds himself behind, he's actually taking off defensive players and bringing on offensive players. And what happens? Lo and behold, they get a result. Especially in today's age, where there aren't many teams around that have absolute rocks in defense. That whole concept has kind of died out a little bit. That is where attention needs to be given. It's important to bolster your attack in order to go and get a result when you know you need one. Arsenal are doing that and they find themselves now 2 points behind Liverpool. We're going to get into all of that on Shootout, so make sure you guys are there from tomorrow onwards. We're going to go through the roundup, then we've got the predictions and the preview for the Champions League, and then it's going to be loads. So make sure you hit that link in the description. Much appreciated. On Chelsea's end, we have news. We have news around Maresca. And we all know when you start hearing things, more times than not, it's no smoke without fire. And I did ask the question in video number 1. Has something gone down behind the scenes? Well, we have little updates and then we have a major update on Chelsea's stance with Maresca. So let's get into it. Let me show you and let's dig in. Here's the latest earlier on from Nizar Kinsella. He says, cracks have begun to appear, and Enzo Maresca has made comments in recent weeks that will not have gone down well with his bosses. BBC Sport understands Chelsea set Maresca the target of qualifying for the Champions League this season. I gotta be real, right? When it comes to what we managed to achieve last season, and off the back of that, if you remember, actually not even off the back of that, before we got top 4, do you remember when Maresca had to come out publicly to clarify his comments, and he said that, the club told me, so the aim is to get Champions League next season, not this season, next season. I gotta be real. The fact that we managed to get top 4 last season, not even top 5, because the whole aim was top 5, if you remember, we managed to get top 4 towards the end, realistically means that this season, the aim and objective realistically should be to go and compete for the Premier League title. That's the next step up. Why go and aim for the same thing that you got last season? You know, that's like me competing in a race. And then I look at the pack and I think, no, you know what? Where I know I am right now, I reckon I can only get 4th place out of, let's say, the 10 that are competing in this race. I don't think I can really compete with the top 3 of that race. So I'm going to say I need to go and get 4th. And then you get 4th. And then the next season, I race against the same people and I look and I go, nah, you know what? I should aim for 4th. No. At that point, I'm going, listen, what do I have to do to win? Because I hit 4th. So now I need to see what can I do to get to the top now? So why are we hanging about for one more season aiming for Champions League football? When realistically, after getting it, that should now be a given. That shouldn't be the aim. That should be a given. Now, I understand at the same time, based on last season, the whole thing of Chelsea downplaying the aims and objectives is to not put pressure on such a young team. And in turn, yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, you got to put a pressure on, man. You got to put some pressure on, you know? That's what gets you going. That's what makes you drive towards success. And I don't feel that it's objective to aim for Champions League after having got it. That should be the minimum. Should realistically be the minimum, right? And I honestly believe, and this is why I was saying what I was saying prior to this calamity that we're now facing. Let's go for the Premier League title. Even if there's doubts whether we can do it, no, you have to put that out there and you have to really get that belief going, because if you don't, you stand no chance. I would rather give myself a chance than no chance. Too many people seem comfortable by just going, nah, we're not going to do it. No. Well, there's no point of even watching football then. There actually is no point. Now, if we had absolute scrubs across the entire team, then fair enough. That means we just absolutely let things go left, right and centre. I don't genuinely believe that's the case. You can argue for some positions and you can argue for some players, absolutely. But there are some players there that can get you the job done, that can get you across the line. There are things that we can utilise that we've not been utilising to get results. And had we done that, we'd be in a better position right now. We wouldn't be having this conversation. So we have to be objective with that. Maresca apparently has the aim of Champions League this season. I don't think that's high enough, I'll be honest. Despite the flaws in the squad, I don't think that's high enough. We should be aiming higher. Now, that's the cracks. We have an update from Matt Law that follows that earlier tonight, saying this. Enzo Maresca retains the full faith of the Chelsea board and sporting directors. Injuries and red cards seen as biggest factor in recent results. Chelsea's target is to finish in the top 4 and have a run in the cups. You see, again, it's not a run in the cups that we should be after. It's winning a cup that we should be after. Most people I speak to that want to try and, really, really use a level head, right? And fair play, who say, look, we're not going to win the league. Yeah, don't see it. But I reckon if we can get high as possible and we win a domestic trophy, that's a good season. They didn't say have a run. They said win a domestic trophy. Not rather run at a domestic trophy. We already have runs at domestic trophies. That shouldn't be an objective. I have to be real. So that's something that needs addressing instantly. Let's stop aiming so low. Out of this fear, I think, because if we're looking at the young players, we're looking at players that don't have much experience, we're scared that by giving them such a high aim, they might crumble. Well, they're crumbling already, it looks. And on top of that, it's not even just this season with what we're seeing right now. In the Club World Cup, we went and actually won a trophy. I would have tried to utilize that energy and that achievement to actually instill into them, let's go all the way now. And we were hearing that at the start of the season. We were hearing that. We even had players talking in that sort of sense. Do you remember what Levi Cole said? Do you remember what Reece James said? Do you remember what João Pedro, when he arrived, said? Cole Palmer as well, and what he said. We've all had players after that Club World Cup run going, yeah, no, we want to go for the league. Yeah, correct. That's what we need to aim for. That's what we need to do. To have an objective of just, top 4 and just have a run, it's not high enough. It's not high enough. It's not high enough at all. But Maresca apparently retains the support and has that objective. Now, let's get into more. What's the deciding factors here? Why is it that there is support on Maresca, apparently? I'm going to tell you what I think after I've read all this out, but check this out. Injuries and red cards seen as biggest factor in recent results. Chelsea's aim remains to finish inside top 4 and have a run in the Cups. We have Ben Jacobs, as also said. Enzo Maresca retains the full support of Chelsea's leadership following the losses to Bayern and Brighton. 4 out of 5 Chelsea losses in the past 6 months have had red cards in them, which are viewed as playing a part. Understand Chelsea's owners and sporting directors remain calm, as they were during the slump over the festive period last season. Chelsea went on to get top 4 and win 2 trophies. There is an appreciation a 60-plus game season will have ups and downs. Big week ahead with games against Benfica and Liverpool, but viewed as one of many between now and May. There's a lot of mixed messaging here, right? He's got support. 4 out of 5 Chelsea losses in the past 6 months have had red cards in them. So there's a discipline issue that they believe has played a part. That needs addressing. Simple. There needs to be some sort of discipline here. And no reckless. I don't mean discipline in terms of just bad boys. They're not bad boys. Too naive. You leave yourselves exposed. Sanchez and what he did in the United game says everything. There was no need to go in for that sort of challenge. No need. You can make yourself look big. Look at what Nick Pope done earlier on today for Newcastle against Gyökeres. Made himself look big. Managed to get the ball. That was it. No penalty given. And no red card. Sanchez went in with a kung fu kick. Let's be honest. There's no business going out that fast, that drastic, that erratic, that aggressive. There just wasn't. So we need to manage our emotions better. And defensively, the back line needs to wake the hell up because we are sleeping in that department. So there's that. There are injuries, absolutely. We know there's the Club World Cup and that period of no preseason. We know that. But again, they go back to the point of, okay, we had this issue last season and we managed to pull through despite the festive period and we went on to get top 4 and win 2 trophies. You've just answered my question. We went on to get top 4 and we won 2 trophies. So why is the aim Champions League football? Push. Push up. You know? That's what needs to be done in order to drive. We don't want to create an environment where it's like, okay, no, look, we participated. Let's just see what we can do. And then, whatever happens is fine. We could just end it. No. That can't. That's not how sport as a whole operates. There's one thing being realistic, 100%. But there's another thing not really giving everything to compete. And this is, I think, hindering a part of us from actually going all the way and not just giving 110%, but giving 120%. That's what it takes to win in the Premier League and the Champions League and all of that. You need that. If you ain't got that, you got no chance. Is that a problem that we have? Well, understandably, a 60-plus game season will have ups and downs. That is true. But that's the same as everyone, isn't it? Everyone's got that schedule, so we got to deal with it. It's as simple as that. Let's wait and see what's going to happen over the next couple of games. This is going to be crucial, I think. And one thing I also want to add is, realistically, I'll be honest with you, I don't like hearing he's got full support. Nah. It wasn't too long ago we heard West Ham had full support for Graham Potter, innit? What happened? Every time you start hearing, there's full support, we're hearing it now about Ruben Amorim. You think he's going to survive? No chance. Now we're hearing it about Maresca. That doesn't make me comfortable, I'll be honest. I would have rather the silence. Honestly, I would rather the silence than have clarity on, this sort of clarity on, Maresca's got all the backing. When that normally comes out, really? Is that true? I'm not so sure. So the problem is out there, who's the options? Who are the options? Let's see. Now, talking about options. Well, there's a manager who's not an option anymore. He was as of about a week ago, but Jose Mourinho. I've not spoken about him properly in a while, but he's had certain things to say about Chelsea. So without further ado, let's jump into his comments because Chelsea are his next opponents. He did win this weekend with Benfica, and he spoke about Chelsea in great detail, actually. So let's hear what good old Jose has to say about us. Let's get into it. Here it is. Chelsea. Abramovich's Chelsea. My Chelsea. The Chelsea we built and lasted for many years was a winning club. It was winning everything with me and then Carlo, Conte and Tuchel. It was a winning machine. Every season, Chelsea winning. I've got more, but I had to stop it there because that gives me goosebumps. Like, I can't lie. I'm just, man. Jose, man. I'm grateful we had him. I'm just really grateful we had him, but... man, we were a juggernaut. We actually were a complete juggernaut. Do you know what I mean? Let's hear more. And I would advise everyone at Chelsea, no matter who you are, pay attention to these words. Everything that he's saying here, pay attention. Then there was a big change with crazy investment and a period of a few years where it looked like they lost direction. With too many players, too many millions, accumulation of players, and a team without a clear philosophy. For a couple of years, it was hard. For one that loves the club, it was hard. Jose feels bad to see Chelsea struggling. Oh. He's one of us. Jose's going through the trenches with us, guys. Going through the trenches. He hasn't spoken like this about Man United or about anyone else, has he? He's definitely not about Tottenham. Forget that. I mean, he even said that himself. But you can just see. There's more. He's got more things to say. Here's what he said on Maresca. Maresca arrived and step by step, the puzzle was made. Even the Conference League is a fantastic competition for a team like that to win. It gives you the first cup and the philosophy and the culture of the club for winning. He's not wrong. in that. This is why, there was a case of, look, we have to win the Conference League. Don't disrespect it to the point where it's like, this means nothing. No, it should be a thing of, look, we should win this, but win it. Because on that day, it should give you that sense. And this is the whole point as to why even the Club World Cup meant more. It's like, hang on. So you managed to do that. Then you escalate it to the next step and you actually managed to do that, which means surely we can compete. And now we hit this massive stumbling block that has just bewildered everyone and gone, oh my goodness, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's the same story like we've seen for the past 3 years. Let's wait and see. So, Mourinho, continue. I know that Chelsea is a top team with fantastic players, a good coach, big statues, and are world champions. They also lost the first match, so they, of course, need the points. He's talking about our loss to Bayern Munich there, of course, and that is true. He's respecting Chelsea here. He's respecting the quality. He's respecting the manager, or Maresca, the head coach. He's respecting what we have. And fair play, as an opponent, you have to. But I actually think he looks at this and he means what he's saying here. I don't think he's lying just for the sake of, he's playing Chelsea here, so just try and big them up a little bit. No. He's not wrong. In everything that you said so far, he's not wrong at all. So let's see what's going to happen on Tuesday. Now, on Tuesday, it's going to be very interesting. Why? Because we know exactly what we're playing up against. We're going to play against a nice, hungry, manager-bounced Benfica that are going to be playing on the counter-attack and wanting to defend everything and make life hard for us and exploit our spaces in defence that we all know we have. At the same time, use things like set pieces and use things like long balls and use all of that they know is going to work against us because we ain't got a defence. Plus, it's Jose. This is going to be very interesting, very interesting. Now, that's him on Chelsea and what to expect, but he did say one more thing. And if you're going to the game on Tuesday, this relates more to you than anyone else. So pay attention to this. Jose says, if the fans are great to me, then great. And if they are not, that's fine and no problem, but I am happy to be back. Jose. Listen, there is not a day. Yeah. And I understand we had what we had when Jose was at United and when he was at Tottenham specifically. We've had what we've had, right? But no one can erase the fact that Jose Mourinho is our greatest ever manager, no matter what. Until now, the trophies that we have won all have a Mourinho blueprint on them. Jose was absolutely instrumental in both stints, specifically the first, but both stints as to why Chelsea became the success that they were. It was the first manager hired by Roman and done absolutely beautifully. He set the tone of what it meant to actually take a team that didn't really win too much and wasn't that team competing for the league every single season, much like you could say right now, and got us turned into absolute ruthless monsters. Yeah? Winning every single thing we could think of, except for the Champions League with him. That was the only one that I wish we'd done, man. We're never going to get to do it, and that hurts. I can't lie. If the Champions League with Jose would have been it, I would have just stopped watching football there. We would have done. That's it. We're done. We've clocked the game. We've clocked the game. Do you know what I mean? But we're not going to ever get to do that. We got close, semi-final a few times. But Jose set the tempo of what it meant to have the mentality of winning and have the players of winning and have the players that will give everything. And his team was a team that stayed active for the good part of a decade. Other managers used them as well, but it was his team. He will always be welcome back to Stamford Bridge, man. Always. And you best believe on Tuesday there's going to be massive reception for Jose Mourinho from the Chelsea supporters. Because some time has passed now. And I think after what we've all gone through with the new ownership and everything, I think even Chelsea fans now have a new sense of appreciation for how what's the word I'm looking for here? Instrumental. How instrumental Jose actually was and how we cherish those times. And when he walks out onto that Stamford Bridge turf, he's going to be absolutely filled with love. I can guarantee it. Especially right now where we are in a moment of complete uncertainty, when we have a familiar face who's our greatest ever manager that reminds us of a time when things were just much more simpler and we were winning and no one could come to the bridge and even think about getting a point, let alone 3. Everyone's going to look at Jose and go, oh man, it's really good to see you. Guarantee it. So Jose, you've got nothing to fear, my friend. Nothing to fear. We'll see you on Tuesday and you'll get the reception you deserve as our greatest ever manager, without question. Without question. You best believe. And I have to be honest here. The current Chelsea ownership, directors, even Maresca, everyone, prepare yourselves. I can't even, actually, I'm not even going to apologize for that. I'm not even going to say I'm sorry. Prepare yourselves. I'm warning you now, yeah? There's going to be the whole stadium singing Jose Mourinho. Just be ready. And you should understand why. He's our greatest ever manager. We won 8 trophies with him. I think it was 3 league titles. Just history together. You should just let this one just pass and just understand the circumstance. No one's going to stop Stamford Bridge from singing Jose Mourinho on Tuesday. No way. So Jose, it'll be good to see you. But understandably so, we want to be able to win. Jose's already said he wants to be able to win. But he did say he'll remember where he is before the game and he'll remember where he is after the game. And it's going to be a good reception and I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good to see Jose back at the bridge. That comes on Tuesday. The preview to that will be tomorrow. So make sure you guys are here for it. Let me know your thoughts overall on Maresca and what I've said and Jose Mourinho and his words as well. And I'll catch all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. Look after yourself. Subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll catch you then in a bit. Take care and peace.